Welcome back, everyone. Prince Boye Ologbese is the Honorary Commissioner in those states in charge of regional integration and diaspora relations. Also being joined this morning to discuss the state of diaspora relations and the development of Ondo State, and of course what that also holds and has in stock for the overall development of the Nigerian state. Good morning, Honorary Commissioner. It's nice to have you on the program.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Sunday Kalawale.
I'd like to know, on behalf of the people of Ondo State, what's been the change that's been injected in that ministry since it took over. Honestly speaking, if you ask anyone on the streets, they will just say, what diaspora relation, regional integration? They do not even know what exactly has been happening in that arena. Since you took over as the MC-man in that ministry, what has changed? What has been able to come into Ondo State from the stable of your office to be able to contribute to the development of the state?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think first and foremost, let me quickly take you back to the genesis of that ministry, because a lot of people are not aware the ministry is two in one. When you talk about the regional integration, that is the aspect we're using integrating in the Southwest through the DAN Commission, Development Agenda for Western Nigeria, and which the ministry is working closely with. Then the other aspect of it is the diaspora relation, which we are actually working with the NITCOM under the leadership of Honorable Abike Dabiri-Eloa, and to project the Ondo State in diaspora. And when you talk about the diaspora, especially in the aspect of Ondo State, I think it's of too broad. Ondo State residents in Akure, residents in Abuja, Port Harcourt, Lagos, they are diasporas. Ondo State residents across the world, US, Europe, Asia, and all the rest, they are diasporas. So these are activities to actually identify them, bringing them together. And you agree with me right now that diaspora relations has actually played critical roles in a very sincere government that wants to actually drive investment. Because when you're talking about investment driven right now, diaspora play a critical role, especially with under the leadership of our able Governor Keredolu Oluwarotimi Odunayo, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Commander of Order of Nigeria, trying to change the narrative story of Ondo State from a civil servant to a business-driven state. I think diaspora play critical roles.
What roles has the diaspora been able to play in that?
Yeah, because when you talk about their wealth of experience in trying to transfer.
I understand the point you're trying to make. I'm just interested in the specifics. What has the diaspora, the ministry dealing with diaspora relations, been able to bring to the table in engendering the changing narrative from a civil service state to a well-industrialized state?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. I think these are parts of the area we actually look at. That was what actually led to this whole idea of this diaspora city again. And this is the area we felt that we want to actually key into the tourism. We want to build a small Dubai in Akure. That is, we're talking about a life in Europe in Akure. That is an area the diaspora feels that, okay, when you look at tourism right now, tourism is another huge investment right now. And school of thought has made us to understand that government cannot do business rather than providing an enable environment. And the diaspora, when you talk about the fund right now, the diaspora has a fund. They have access to it. And that's why we are trying to bring them on board together. And that's why they felt that with this diaspora city, we're trying to build a city that people can actually plan to say that, okay, I'm planning my vacation for Akure. I'm leaving Europe, I want to come and exploit the tourist attraction of Akure. It's going to have all the full component of tourism in the diaspora village. And the diaspora are willing, are ready, especially people who had actually made it in their endeavor in the Europe and America and Far Asia, believing that they want to put back into the system. They want to support this government. Especially why they feel so comfortable was also that they look at the leadership role and the leadership trend this administration has taken, and that is in the area of the security. I might trust you to know this Amotekun was formed through our ministry, DAN Commission. So, and they felt that the government has achieved a lot in this area of security, because when you are driving investment in any organization, nobody will invest where life and property is not safe. And the government is on top of this. It's a priority for any government, a serious government, to take security as a critical.
Mr. Ologbese, Diaspora City, where is that coming up? When should the people of Ondo State expect that?
Yeah, very soon, because already we're working with the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, and we're actually working with the Ministry of Land and Infrastructures, and we have actually formed a technical committee on this, and I can tell you in a couple of 2-3 months at least we'll unveil it, and the 3G of the Diaspora City will come on board, and this is what everybody is actually looking up to, and that is why a lot of we actually received a guest from the US over this project of Diaspora City. Diaspora has come on board to say, yeah, but Honorable Commissioner, we want to be part of this narrative. We want to key into this concept, because we believe that this is the only way that can actually bring our grandchildren back home to say they want to come and visit us when we feel that, okay, we want to relocate back to Akure. We're building a city that will drive tourism at 100%.
Let's look at funding. As much as basically all you're saying is that the people in diaspora are going to support the state government in that regard, and on those state government on the other side will tell us that they do not have enough funds to take up on all these projects. Is it going to be 100% diaspora?
Yeah, like I told you, the people who are coming around to build the diaspora village, they are not for their Christmas as well too. They want to actually have a quick return in their investment too. So, and definitely they felt that this is a laudable project that they can actually make a lot of money from it too. It's going to be quick return in the investment. There's no doubt about it. This is just going to be DDI, direct diaspora investment and initiative, and we just want to provide an enable environment for them to thrive, and this is actually going to, I'm interested to know that very soon too, now that we are going to have our own DC port coming on board very soon, that means we want to begin to open on those states.
How soon?
Yeah, I think I can be rest assured in a couple of 2 months or thereabout, the federal government should declare.
Mr. Ologbese, we've been on this issue of this seaport for how many years now, and now you're saying the next 2 months. If you say that you're a member of council, and so maybe there's something you'd like the people of Ondo State to know, are there things already put in place? Where are these things put in place? What gives you the confidence that in the next 2 months this seaport will be in place in Ondo State?
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate that a lot of people were not privileged to actually know the rules and the trend this government has played in this Ondo seaport, especially under the leadership of Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo, the senior advocate of Nigeria. He took the bull by the horn over this Ondo seaport, and he sacrificed a lot. And we got a very reputable consulting firm. We did the consultation of that port, and right now we've tidied up our paper with the federal government, and now I'm interested to know the last summit I attended in Abuja, the Honorable Minister for Transport came to represent the President there, and I actually asked him, Honorable Minister, what happened to our Ondo seaport? He said, Honorable Commissioner, my regards to your governor. Your papers is almost ready. Anytime soon, I want to declare on this seaport before I leave the office. It shows that we've tidied up our paperwork. So it shows that was a seriousness. That was an initial winds up in less than 30 days, you know. I know that. So that is why I said that if peradventure, because of probably maybe they are trying to wind down, they could not actually do that. But we know that immediately once as well you come on board, that is definitely going to happen. The Federal Executive Council, I can bet you that they are going to declare Ondo seaport, because all necessary papers have been taken care of, and so right now we don't have a problem with that.
Honorable Commissioner, can you quickly shed more light on the recently concluded Global African Diaspora Summit that was held? How will it affect Ondo State positively?
Yeah, I think the summit, the symposium was actually, they brought a lot of scholars, and we feel that it is important that Africa must come together, because nobody could actually do it better than ourselves. So that is why the symposium was actually organized with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in conjunction with NITCOM, under the leadership of Abike Dabiri. And the whole idea was we are trying to bring the Africa together to say that we want to say that this continent, we must be able to change it at 100%. And they felt that the diaspora engagement is very critical role in transformation of Africa. And these are areas of identifying some of our scholars. And that's why we feel that even on those State too, in the course of doing that, we can actually network together and to say that we bring a lot of scholars who can actually, in terms of skill transfers and whatever, bring them back on board to Ondo State. And the summit, the kind of presentation at the summit, to agree with me now that we have a lot of prospects coming on board, especially from the diaspora. And that is why you see a lot of diaspora believing in the seriousness of this administration, because they feel that it might interest you to know that among the Southwest states, Ondo State is one of the states that has a Ministry of Diaspora Affairs. And that is why NITCOM actually allow us to have a NITCOM office in Akure, which a lot of people are not even aware of that. This is a commendable one. So I think in the next, probably in a month's time right now, we'll begin to flag that in our ministry. So which is, we are trying to project the Southwest. And this is why we felt that designing Ondo State for a business hub of the entire Southwest is very critical at this point in time. And I discussed it with Dan Commission, and the Dan Commission actually agreed on this. And they are working in line with it. So, and we brought it to NITCOM. So NITCOM felt that, okay, this is very important at this point in time, because they felt that no state in the Southwest has all the component of industrial growth we have in Ondo State in terms of our endowment in the state. And that is why we feel that the diaspora engagement in driving all this multi-billion investment is very critical. It might interest you to know that in the summit right now, the entire of African diaspora investment remittance is $95 billion. So that is a huge one. So that is why we feel now that with the level of our education and advancement, Ondo State can take a lead role in that's why remittance. We have a lot of our doctors doing extremely well in the US, doing extremely well in the UK. And these are people that could actually come on board and put back into the system. So we feel now that is why it's part of the reason why the ministry actually tried to discourage illegal migration, to encourage proper and orientations of migration for people who want to go and study in abroad and wherever, because we feel that these are ways of actually increasing diaspora remittance at the end of the day. It will not cause a burden on the state, because illegal migration will become a burden on the state rather than increasing our diaspora remittance. Thank you.
Doing all of this, are you also looking at putting timeline on the programs? Because for me, everything you said are still plans, programs, and visions that you hope to come to fruition very soon. But are you putting timeline on all of these to be able to track your progress as far as these efforts are concerned?
Yeah, definitely. As an economist, you know how we always work with time, and we'll look at, even despite the fact that we believe that, okay, in the next 2 years the government will be winding down, but we believe that we are trying to put a very solid structure in place so that there's continuity in whatever we're doing. So there's a lot of timeline in whatever we're doing. Like I told you, in a couple of 2-3 months right now, we're going to launch the 3D of the diaspora city to show that, okay, and we are working towards with our diasporas in the United Kingdom to actually go and feature in the Northern Carnival, to actually project this diaspora city 3D vision to them, to see reason why they have to say, okay, why? And it might interest you to know right now, even we have a lot of our diasporas in Port Harcourt doing extremely well in the oil and gas industry, and with this diaspora city, it's going to actually bring them on board, planning their vacation towards Akure. And it might interest you to know right now, once the diaspora city comes on board right now, the route to Akure to Port Harcourt will be opened.
What is the state government doing in promoting transparency in financial management? Because if you agree with me, that goes a long way in also affecting, attracting diasporans to develop their own state and to contribute to a national development. Like you did say, you're talking in terms of local diasporans, as it were, and those also abroad and all of that. What is Ondo State government doing about transparency in resource management so that people coming to invest will not look like coming to pour water in the basket?
Yeah, the records are there, and when you look at it in terms of transparency, that's why you give it to this government. No government has ever been transparent as that this government will have under the leadership of our able governor, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayakeredolu, the senior advocate of Nigeria, commander of the order of Nigeria. When you look at accountability, it is 100%. And when you look at
100%,
yeah, because most of the mechanism put in place in various ministry, you discover that you can it's well structured.
are you by any means saying that there's not been any case of infraction in financial management?
Yeah.
No scandal at all? No case with any anti-graft agency?
Yeah, it might interest you to know that definitely you see people trying to, in a politics like this, you see opposition trying to come out with different kind of phrases of lies and all the rest of it, just to actually dent the image of the government. But
What is the truth?
it's far from the truth.
What is the truth?
The truth there is just that no ministry has ever been indicted of any corruption from any agencies, and even under the leadership of the Ministry of Finance, that's the Honorable Commissioner for Finance, he has been accountable to the financial management of this state at 100%. And all the commissioners, we work in the principles and the benchmark put in place. And that's why you find it difficult to say that there's no any of the ministries or agencies of Ondo State that actually been indicted by EFCC.
Well, let's move on and then also check what's been the contribution of Ondo State government in enhancing cooperation and collaboration among the southwestern states as being championed by the Dawn Commission. I understand that now there are efforts at ensuring that states can now generate electricity, which, if you agree with me, will go a long way in economic development. What are the plans of the Ondo State government? They say charity begins at home, right? What are the efforts being put in place by the Ondo State government to large in on this opening? Perhaps it has led the way, according to you, in security with leading the Convention for State Security Policing. What are the efforts being put in place in the aspect of economic development too, maybe to lead the way in the Southwest?
Yeah, we actually take a lead role too in the industrialization of the region right now. I think last week we just hosted the entire Southwest on this rail and power region development program, which is a very laudable one. This was actually designed by Dawn Commission, and this is a project that we feel that we want to network this region and strengthen the region in terms of economic growth. And this is a way to say that this is a complete leadership. You give it to our able governor again under the leadership of Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayakeredolu, the senior advocate of Nigeria, commander of order of Nigeria, taking the leadership role in the Southwest to feel that the Southwest must be positioned on the economic advantage. And we feel that, and this is a project now that the Southwest are actually keyed into. And like you said, the federal government has actually removed a lot of bottleneck, slowing the development down in the region. So with this one now, we're putting it on the table and everybody's looking at that. And we feel if we can have a role to network the whole Southwest, you agree with me, this will actually create jobs, this will fasten a lot of developmental growth. And I don't see a reason why we cannot have a rail. When we have Ondo Diaspora, we cannot have a rail moving container from Ondo State to Ekiti. Why Ekiti State should begin to plan for their dry land port. Why Osrc should begin to plan for their dry land port. So these are ways of strengthening the economic ties of the region.
Plans everywhere. You're even yet to be done with a deep sea port. You're already talking about rail. You're talking about dry land sport. Nice visions everywhere. But are you also considering what factors could inhibit the successful actualization of these plans, visions, and objectives? What are the things that could make you fail?
Yeah, the only thing I feel that could have actually make us fail was just when we begin to look at, okay, how do we be able to fund it? But now it's going to be private-driven initiative business. So we are bringing the private sectors on board to come and drive these things. We are only providing platform for them. So that means they want to come and invest and make money. It might interest you to know in the last summit we did, we've been receiving a lot of mails from the diaspora. Where's Ondo District coming on board? We want to come and invest. Orams is coming on board to say they want to take over they are trying to come on board with a refrigerator terminal in Ondo State. This is going to be the first of its kind in the entire Southwest. And in the Southwest country. So this is going to be the first of its kind. So when you look at all these laudable project, and you feel that where is it coming from? It's purely from the private driven sector.
They're coming to make money. Are you also looking at what effect that we have on the common man? Have you tried to also check what would be the effect of such adventure to make money on the livelihood of the people?
Yeah, that is why the government is there, and when you look at it very well, and that is why we have actually made the environment business friendly. That is why we have actually made the environment more conducive for them. We are not putting them in a very tight corner that they want to actually say that, okay, we want to actually put the burden on the masses. So this is a government that is very considerate, looking at the future. And when you look at it very well right now, when you look at the prospect of our children right now, our students leaving the university right now, we feel that employment is very key at this point in time.
Let's look at making those states a mini Dubai.
Yeah.
Good roads, electricity, water, all the necessary things needed. Are they ready for this beautiful idea to kickstart?
Yeah, it might interest you to know, when you look at the story of how Dubai started. Dubai was actually they actually built a desert. A desert, and they felt that they want to drive the tourism business of the whole world. They felt that the US and the UK had made a lot of money from tourism. They want to key into that concept, and they were able to achieve that. In the course of driving the tourism right now, it might interest you to know right now, most of the corporate organization right now had gone to build their corporate organization in Dubai, and that is why we're actually coming on board to build a diaspora city. And it might interest you to know, a company has come on board from Lekki to say that they want to provide 24 hours electricity in the diaspora city, because it is very, very critical, because the diaspora is looking at that area. And why the diaspora is comfortable that they want to partner over the diaspora city, because there's security. Because nobody will come and invest where life and property is not safe. So you can be guaranteed that it's a well-structured program, and it's going to take us, drive the commerce business of Akure itself.
Now, President Ologbese, I do understand that there must always be a relationship between the town and the gown for development to really be on the fast track. How well is your ministry taking advantage of that relationship between your ministry and educational institutions to engender these efforts at bringing on board development through diaspora relations?
Yeah, we've been doing a lot in that. That was what actually led to us actually like having another relation with Elizabeth University, trying to showcase the student in their international relations, and we felt that. And it might interest you to know that right now we have some of the students coming on board for Osrc in our ministry. Okay. So we feel that we are trying to groom them for a better society. So I think we're taking a lead role in that too, and we'll be working with Adekunle University very soon on the same project too. So we're taking a lead role on that, and we feel it is very, very important.
Beyond giving them opportunity for internship and all of that, how well would that also help the objectives of your ministry? Because for me, it mustn't be a parasitic relationship, but symbiotic one. So how well would that also help the visions of your ministry? Yes, they are coming to do internship, but what do you get in return?
Yeah, we intend to get a lot in return, because at the end of the day, because when you talk about diaspora relations, we know a lot of professors too that are even that diasporas that by relationship with the girls could actually identify some of these scholars and bring them on board to say that your wealth of experience can be bring on board in transforming Ondo State. So these are the reason why we're actually identifying with the university community and feeling that we want to bring them closer to getting into the system of Ondo State properly.
Now, before we let you go, it's also important to check on what's been the blueprint to actualize certain visions of your ministry. For instance, I do know that apart from the diaspora relations, there's also the regional integration part of it. Rail, you've talked about. The Dawn Commission, you've talked about. What advantage interstate collaboration are you also bringing up beyond the Dawn Commission? I do know that states also have a way of they relate. For instance, when the issue of the Akure Adwegete Road was a huge one, both state governments came together and said, look, let's fix this until the issues went the way they did. Now, what efforts is your ministry? What are the efforts you're putting in place to also engender interstate, not just the Southwest now, maybe Ondo State and any other states having a border with Osrc is there, it is there, to come together and form alliance for development?
Of course, we've been doing that. The ministry has been doing that. In the last summit we did in Villa, it might interest you to know that I was able to bring Ekiti State on board to throw their weight behind Ondo this report. Even the vice president has to give it to us that this is the first time two states is coming together a common cause. It makes our dreams more reality. So there's always been, these are part of what we're actually looking at right now, feeling that what kind of business we can actually design for each state that could go benefit and advantage for us to actually thrive. And we've been actually working on that closely, and the essay to economy planning for the governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Ni Adebayo, we've been working closely together to see that we have a lot of business ties together. Now that we feel that Ekiti and Ondo has always been one before we were created, and we feel that we should be able to cement our business ties in so many business relationships, and which we have been working towards in that area. And we feel that because it is important and that is why even Lagos State too felt that it is important that this project will bring in about for self-reliance. You agree with me now that technology is fast moving ahead of our code. So how do we form the treaties of our government without looking into Abuja? These are part of the core values of Don't Commission.
Let me because we don't have much time, but let me take you away from all of this. Now let's look at people from Ondo State, citizens of Ondo State outside the countries that in war-torn countries, and those that have one challenge or the other. How do you connect to them, and how do you save them from whatever it is they find themselves in?
Of course, we'll be in the way. These are part of why we are there as a ministry, which we have cases of people who are in Libya and some other country, and we're able to actually write, and through NITCOM we're able to do some kind of repatriations and whatever some of our citizens who have affected by illegal trafficking. These are part of areas we are actually playing another role for the society, because it is very, very important, because the welfare of the citizen is paramount to us too. So these are areas we are looking at.
Unfortunately, time is no longer on our side. I have to let you go at this point. Prince Boye Ologbese is the Commissioner for Regional Integration and Diaspora Relations. I thank you so much for coming on the program to shed light on all of this. I only wish you well in all of these visions and objectives to come to reality very soon. Thank you so much for calling. Everyone, it's been a nice time with you on the program this morning. Engaging engagement, you'll say, but you'll never be successful without you being there. Thank you so much for being part of it. For my colleague, Flora Waya.
Well, do enjoy the rest of your day.
If it is on Friday morning, God willing, I'm Sunday Olawale. Please enjoy the rest of the day. Good morning.
Yes, sir.